Oh, hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Rick. That's J.R. Jackson.
What's up, Rick?
The Reverend.
It's a Monday. You know Monday's the best day of the week?
Why is that?
Because it's the first day of the week. If you enjoy your life, you should enjoy the beginning of a
You're going all like Gary Vee on us on a Monday.
Monday is better than Fridays. Fridays is the end of your week, and it's like wrapping up and things are all over. Don't you want things to begin? It's a new chance to be great.
Doesn't the week turn on Sunday though?
The work week starts Monday.
No, I understand the work week, but like the actual week begins.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But nothing happens on Sunday.
Right. Except players
for things
ramming
we're going to
into
talk
each
about.
Other. Literally a guy convosing on the field, which we're going to get into momentarily.
This guy thinks on the same wavelength. You're right.
Obviously. Tag team back again. So on a serious note though, there is a video that has been going around, and this young man's name is Keaton Jones, and he was bullied in his school, yet the sports world has found a way to react. So first, let's show the video of Keaton pleading to, it seems like, not only his mother, the kids that were bullying him, but also kids that have been bullied as well, and just trying to bring an end to this while also having his authentic feelings just captured on camera.
Just out of curiosity, why do they bully? What's the point of it? Why do you find joy in taking innocent people and finding a way to be mean to them? It's not okay.
What do they say to you?
They make fun of my nose. They call me ugly. They say I have no friends.
What'd they do to you at lunch?
Poured milk on me and put ham down my clothes. Threw bread at me.
Is it just you?
Yep.
Or is it other kids too that feel that way?
Say it's other kids too.
How's that make you feel?
I don't like that they do it to me, and I for sure don't like that they do it to other people, because it's not okay. People that are different don't need to be criticized about it, because it's not their fault. But if you are made fun of, just don't let it bother you. Just stay strong, I guess. It's hard. But it'll probably get better one day.
All right, again, very authentic. And it should be noted before anybody has any sort of conspiracy theory about this, he is the one that asked his mother to record him. He also asked his mom to pick him up because he didn't want to go back to lunch, as I'm sure you could probably see why. Now, the amazing thing about this is that, like, we view the internet as sometimes the loneliest hellhole that you could possibly log on to just by simply searching on Google. Yet the internet has found a way to connect Keaton with many incredible athletes and a star-studded field of athletes. And here are a few of the video responses. Well, here's J.R. Smith. Let's get to the video responses first from the UFC and what have you. So take a look.
I want to read a poem to you by Buddha. Our life is shaped by our mind. We become what we think. Joy follows a pure thought like a shadow that never leaves. Always remember that. You can be whoever you want to be. And again, sorry that bullying is being taking place at your school.
I want you to know, bud, you got friends in the UFC. And regardless of how dark it looks and how sad you may become, know that people are your friend and willing to stand with you. You never know what's going to happen, bud. I was bullied as a kid, and I became a UFC champion. So keep your head up, stay positive, and continue being a beautiful, great kid. And things will turn around. I promise.
Keep your head up. I've seen your video, and it's heartbreaking. It's sad what these kids are doing to you. Do not let them break you, because that's when they really win.
From CSU to Green Bay and all the way down here in Texas, we're pulling for you. We're praying for you. And we want you to know that never be ashamed of who you are.
You're the strong one. Keep your head up. Stay strong. If you're ever in Los Angeles, you can come to my gym. If you're ever in Boston, you can come to my other gym and train there. If you want to learn how to protect yourself, you want to learn how to do self-defense or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, whatever you want, it's on me. Free classes. Love you, buddy.
Just remember, man, you one of a kind. God made no mistakes. Your life is going to have a purpose. It's going to have some way you can reach someone else and inspire them by all the adversity that you face. So don't give up hope. Don't let these people get you down. Don't let them tell you who you are. Have a strong sense of self-worth. And keep a smile on your face through it all, man. I apologize for all the mean people bullying you. And just know that UFC, we got your back.
Okay, so as I'm watching this, I'm thinking about how I can relate personally, because high school was probably one of the more difficult times of my life that I had to go through. And I had to deal with things that I won't necessarily say, just the shittiness factor of how kids, when they're younger and what they have to deal with and what have you. I can tell you, I had the support from very few people, and my parents were there as well. If I had this sort of support, I would go in double-barrel middle finger to every single bully as I'm walking through, because then they'd be like, "Oh shit, I wish I could befriend him now." But like, and we could roll through some of the tweets as well. But as I'm looking at this, it's so cool to see, and it's so cool to see how people are reacting and just trying to help out Keaton in every way.
Just for experiences, like, okay, so what I saw from a lot of the response was, and again, it's a little odd that this became, not odd, but everyone's pointing out that it went through a lot of athletes, right? It crossed over, of course, the entertainment folks and things like that. But
yeah, Millie Bobby Brown tweeted about
the
it.
athletic stream went big. A lot of pro players and talkers and news guys and guys who still speak about a lot of sports invited him to their events, or you know. So that stuck out, I think, because it spoke to a lot of people that no matter what, these guys are now huge, both physically and in the world. They were kids, and damn near all of them felt the same thing or dealt with the same thing. So people would assume, oh, these guys are cool, they're big guys, no one ever messes with them, they can beat their ass. All that's the thought, but then it allowed them to reveal, hey, this happened to me too. And then I'm UFC champion, I'm a tight end for the Titans. No one even wants to look at me the wrong now, you know? So maybe that also being part of inspiration, which I think is why it spoke to everyone, because I think everyone had it to some point. Even the people who are the bullies, this is I was tweeting about this over the weekend, because when I saw it, it angered me. Yeah. And I mean, I had a very mild level of the bullying. I wouldn't even have called it bullying. It was teasing, is what I caught. And as soon as I responded for 3 to 4 days straight, it stopped, because there was nothing else to get at someone. When someone's no longer bothered, there's no more targets. So that's really where it comes from. This kid, it'd help if he was inspired to not let it get to him. Once they know it doesn't get to him, they have no more ammunition.
Right.
Which again, with all these people that are reaching out to him, it gives him at least a coalition of people that say, hey, you're a good guy, and let those guys know that you're a good guy. And then they can kind of stop. So I do hope this turns around, because what I think also can happen is guys like this, then if they don't get the help or support, they can turn into bullies. They find someone else that's a little weaker, a little bit more isolated, and is a little bit more scared, and they go, okay, I need to take whatever is building up in me of the anger that I have and then put it up on someone else. Because those kids bullying him, they might have some situations going on at home. They might. Or wherever else they do their thing, and they've been bullied. And all of a sudden, it's a vicious cycle, you know? Right. Kids aren't born to be assholes. They become it. So, one last thing on this. So DL Hughley Instagram this collage picture. So I know this is probably making the rounds this morning, and I wanted to address that part of it too. I just saw it literally right before we came in, so I didn't have a chance to give it to the guys. Okay. But it's a collage of this kid, his mother, their family, and they're where are they from? Tennessee?
Tennessee.
Confederate flags, porch pictures where they're standing with flags and stand for the flag, and if you don't like us, then F you, and all that type of rhetoric. So now what's being inserted is, don't feel bad for this kid because his family has these Confederate
parents
and potentially, and family, there's a bunch of other folks around in some of these pictures, have these leanings and tendencies. Let's not go to that.
I agree.
So by the way, I agree, this is some of the stuff that is being put out here about his family, which I don't know to the degree of truth to it, but whatever. Don't let it change how you feel about what's happened to this kid's emotions. What is he, like 11, 12 years old, something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
So this kid is still a kid, still growing up. He's still developing his mindset and his approach to the world. His parents or family members, whoever has these types of potentially racist beliefs, are instilling it in him slowly. This is a chance where he doesn't have to believe that shit, to where he can be a different person. You're exposed to what you're exposed to, and that's what you become. He's being exposed to other people that he may never would have been exposed to. Maybe it's going to change the way he's being brought up. This is a victory right now for someone who's probably who has a chance for becoming not a very good person because of the bullying and maybe because of some of the family members. Again, this is just what I'm seeing. Right. I don't know the degree of truth to it. So if it's fake, I don't know.
So you're saying
I agree, and I don't want to take anything away from this kid being bullied. That is horrendous. But I do want to take the opportunity to highlight the fact that exactly what this child said, the word racist could be substituted for bullies. And that's what really needs to be highlighted here is the fact that, this is something that happens to everyone across the board. So let's not do it to each other, you know? I don't want that to get lost in this conversation. Like, yes, he is the victim here, but he and his family can be taught something out of this because it's the exact same thing. You know how many black kids have been made fun of for their nose and told they were ugly and had milk poured on them throughout history? Yeah. Use this as a learning experience.
And it turns into violence on those victims,
And to highlight Jakor, like I agree with everything that you guys are saying. To highlight his first point, we've also had like the stand up to bullying campaigns. So this was also a lot of athletes trying to not only resonate with what they have seen throughout not only their own experiences, but also part of the cause that they're trying to establish within the fans, within the families, within anybody who follows sports at all, to say that this is the side of history that we're on. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to create a safe environment for people to simply go to school and just learn instead of having that being restricted by, oh man, if I leave 30 seconds earlier or later, then I'm gonna have to run into freaking Joe at my locker.
Because what you'll find out, again, this is from the little teasing I caught, I ended up being really good friends with the guys that were doing that after it ended. Because again, they don't, it's just, there's assumptions made about you. They don't know who you are, where you came from, or what you're about. So then the bullying ensues. As soon as it ends, next thing you realize, oh shit, we're all the same type of person. What the hell are we beefing about?
Right.
And you actually become friends. That was my experience. I'm sure that doesn't happen with many people. But again, so back to the way this kid's being raised, he may find out he has a lot more in common with people and doesn't have to divide himself or split amongst our society who gets to be in that circle versus this circle and any kind of relation you can have with anyone. And that's where at the beginning of this, the beginning of the end of this will start, you know?
All right, well put. Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Certainly do let us know and subscribe to 2IT Sports. The NFL yesterday, Seattle Seahawks, Jacksonville Jaguars. It was one of the 1 o'clock games here. It's just weird to say 1 o'clock. Because like, you know, being in the Midwest, it's like, all right, noon games, you know. And
it's been so long for me. Like I'm so used to it's the 10 and 1 o'clock.
The 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock, yeah. Okay, so regardless, 1 o'clock on the Pacific coast, Pacific time zone. And the Jaguars were up big in the game against the Seahawks. There were a lot of wrinkles to this prior to the game where Jalen Ramsey went after the media and was like, you guys need to stop hyping them up, man. Like, we are the legit Jaguars this year. We're not a team that's like a pushover. And it's accurate. Facts, as Denise Jones would say. So they ended up winning the game. Michael Bennett went after one of the offensive lineman's legs. Oddly enough, this past week, he was nominated for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. And so he goes after the legs of an opponent. Sheldon Richardson gets kicked out. Michael Bennett was on the sidelines the rest of the game. Quentin Jefferson also went at the Jacksonville Jaguars offensive lineman's legs as they were in victory formation. Forgot to say that. So they basically pulled a Schiano. And so what ensued was Quentin Jefferson trying to make his way to the tunnel. A beer is thrown in his way. He then circles around, goes to the fans. Another beer is thrown his way. He tries climbing up to have like a Malice at the Palace part 2. He then gets taken down and then makes his way out. Here is what he said after the game.
I'm just wondering if it was the right call for him to throw a beer on me. Just saying.
Did that happen as you were first making your way out?
I'm walking, I'm not talking to nobody, I'm walking out. Somebody throw a beer, then somebody throws another drink. What would you do?
Good. What was said and it looked like you were shouting at each other?
I'm saying, like,
that's the question. Don't you say something? Just stop. You a man with 4 kids. If you want to say something, don't say it. Move on. Tell me you got your face.
I don't know who that was off camera, but he's right, obviously.
Absolutely, they're trying to get something out of you.
Yeah.
They're trying to get the next.
Well, I don't even think it's that. I think it's just this, oh, hello computer. I think it's just this false, well, actually it's a true security of having not only an elevated platform to protect you, but also that you are part of this mob mentality of having thousands upon thousands of fans who are in it for the same cause as you are, which is the Jacksonville Jaguars. So you're allowed, not allowed, but you are almost enabled to do whatever you want at all times. And it's wrong.
Right.
It's completely wrong.
What I thought I heard was, it sounded like a teammate telling him to stop talking to this reporter who's asked him, so what was said? Then what happened to you? How'd you feel then? He's just trying to get this next response of, oh, then in the locker room he says, fuck those fans. If I see them again, and then this violent, angry football player who honestly was assaulted, then has to be, then the story comes to how angry he is rather than what happened, and which would lead to your point of these fans have this barrier, have security, and have drinks in their hand, which, we already know stadiums don't give you glass bottles and stuff for reasons like this. Right. But still,
I think it was the Browns who started that because the Steelers were making their way to the tunnel and beer bottles were being thrown at them, and then they were like, okay, no more beer bottles.
Yeah, and if you notice, if you get them there, Bud Lights are in plastic now. So it's sad that this still happens and that people are still emboldened to do it. I don't know what happened to those fans, if they were identified or kicked out or banned forever. But
should be banned.
All that should happen, by the way. So you can't start a fight when you know you have. It's like that sorry ass soft dude who talks trash, pushes, then gets his boys to crowd around to make sure he doesn't get his ass kicked. On like a 100th scale larger here, because you're 17 rows up and you toss a beer and decide to just scream. Out of here, man.
No, I look, my whole thing is like with the beers and everything and what have you, like, was he assaulted? Yeah, completely. Knowing that this is the field that he went into, not that he's inheriting what's gonna happen to him, but just for the fact of not taking away from the product on the field. I mean, it's fairly obvious. It's don't go into the stands. Don't try to go into the stands, because then what you're doing is, by reacting, you're hurting your own cause of bringing attention to these idiot fans, which is what we should be talking about. We should also be talking about how the Jaguars had a really impressive win over the Seattle Seahawks. And all of that is overclouded because of drunk, idiotic fans who are throwing beers at players, and the player tries going into the stands. If he went back and just yelled at them, I'd be like, validated. But you can't go up into the stands, because then again, you're just hurting your own cause.
He was there to yell the first time. Then when the second one came, he's like, okay. But again, it's tough, man. Look, he's getting kicked out of the game because of the actual
going at an offensive lineman's legs.
It's an actual confrontation on the field between him and another player. So at least that's a real confrontation. Then you have these fans who have nothing to do with it, and you're already mad. So I mean, it's why it's even more deplorable when you take that moment as a fan to be the one to try and escalate it when you have nothing to do with it.
So like, as I see this now, and I want to know your opinion on this, like, I personally believe that the fans should never be allowed in that stadium ever again. They shouldn't be allowed in any stadium ever again. And if we have the technology, and I don't know how this was done, but this was years ago, where my picture was taken in a row at the Coliseum many, many years ago, they can identify who this kid was, or who these adults maybe were, and try to get them banned. Because what they should do is try to bring attention to fan violence, and how the last thing that we want is a Ron Artest going to the stands, smacking the shit out of some kid, and Steven Jackson going in there and smacking the shit out of another kid again, and then two idiotic, in this case, Pistons fans going on the court and trying to like threaten Jermaine O'Neal and then getting knocked out. It's the last thing that we need right now in sports.
But you know who's always going to be,
especially for football.
You know who's always going to be on the hook for those are the players. Those guys' names are never going to be famous. They're not going to have documentaries made about how much piece of shits they are. But you know who's now infamous? The guy who interfered with a foul ball in a Cubs game.
Steve Bartman. Yep.
That's the guy. The one who was being a fan that is actually excited about the game and made a mistake. And it wasn't even just him. So if you're a fan who
You're talking about the 9 other fans that went for the foul ball?
Absolutely. The fan who consciously starts trouble and is trying to start a melee, you're not going to become infamous. You're not going to be banned and then become a pariah in your own city. No, those never happen.
Are we surprised that people who pay money to go to a stadium to watch other people come like bash their heads together are a bit like violent, tending folks? Is this really news to us? That I think like finding that one fan doesn't ban like people from throwing bottles in the stadium. Maybe doing some PSA on how, and this is a consistent thing we saw in the Lebron clip the other day, or excuse me, the KD clip the other day, where these players are finally like, yo, I'm sick of this. Like, I'm a person, dude. Like, why can you just throw bottles at me? That's not cool. Like, no other job. I can't go to my dentist's office and be like, that hurt, bottle in your face. Like, that's not how it works anywhere, you know? And I think we're starting to see that consistent trend where players are like, hey, hold on, like, time out.
No, but I think we should put in a cheering section in each dentist office just to see how they perform under pressure. Like, oh, he's going in for the cavity. Can he do it? 3, 2, 1.
Well, considering I'm the one
pulls out your tooth, you're bleeding like crazy, like James Franco in SNL.
Considering I'm the one in the chair at dentist office, I'm gonna start bringing my kid in. He's a good fan, so I'm gonna make sure he has a couple of bottles and tosses them. He has to be one that tosses the bottles at the dentist's head.
Oh yeah,
not me.
And he's
I'm in the field of battle.
right. And like Dr. O'Brien's navigating through, like trying to. Oh shit! Here's a beer bottle.
He's gonna check in. You okay, Dad?
There goes the syringe and Novocaine. Oh shit!
By the way, no. This sparked my curiosity. Why at this Coliseum did they take an image of your face? What were you doing? Were you being a dickhead
I honestly don't remember. I just remember seeing me in a row, and someone that we were with found it and sent it to us. So my point is, the technology.
They can find you.
Oh,
and I told you before we started, they found me and my kid at the Clippers game this weekend.
True.
In the
they probably spotted you because like I'm sure security has some sort of like protocol, and it's like, oh, cute kid and a dad. Oh, cute kid and a mom.
It's a midday game. Nobody's here.
Yeah, smart PR. All right, thoughts. Should the dentist office have a cheering section? Comment section below. Subscribe to TYT Sports.
Yes. Injured.
Sorry. All right, welcome to TYT Sports. Before we get into the fun, even though we already did, be sure to get in on the act before the game using BetDSI, the A+ rated sportsbook. Use promo code TYT25 and get a $25 free wager just for registering. If you decide to deposit, you will get a 200% bonus match on your money. If sports isn't your thing, don't forget BetDSI offers odds on pretty much everything else too, including all major sports, politics, reality TV. Come on, you got a guilty pleasure. Promo code TYT25, $25 free wager just for registering. The Houston Texans took on the San Francisco 49ers, and we learned once again that the NFL's concussion protocol is pure, utter nonsense.
Savage.
Here's what occurred.
Let's bring it all together. This clip is savage.
It's actually preposterous.
Is that his name?
Tom Preposterous. It's terrible.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at the clip.
No, I know you're
laughing at our jokes.
You got to make it clear.
Not that
in this
good.
PC world. All right, so look.
That was the aftermath of a vicious hit in the end zone.
Vicious hit. So here's what Andy Clayton wrote via the New York Daily News. Despite being taken to the injury tent to be evaluated, Savage came back into the game on the Texans' next possession. Savage was in the medical tent for less than 3 minutes. Chris Nowinski, PA, Dr. Nowinski, disgusted that the Houston Texans allowed Tom Savage to return to the game after 2 plays after showing these horrifying concussion signs after a head impact. I would not let my worst enemy go through the 2017 NFL sideline concussion protocol. And then one more, Mike Fisher says, watch the Tom Savage clip and tell me again the NFL truly cares about empowering the officials and protecting its players. Imagine this being your imagine this is your father, brother, son, yet he re-entered the game. A travesty. Yeah, it's well put. So hang on. So he was in the medical tent for 3 minutes after what appeared to be suffering a concussion and maybe a seizure, where he was convulsing, and yet he still went back in the game, played a series, and then they pulled him for the rest of the game in TJ Yates' game.
So 2 things. To be fair to the referees, one of them stood over him and was talking to him, and he didn't have a very clear view of his hand shaking because he was standing about a half a foot from him, so he couldn't have seen that. Number 2, what do they do in these concussion tents?
I have no idea.
They put up, you know what they, I'm not gonna make any definite factual statement because I don't know. But the concussion tents, from what I can tell, are new this season on the sideline. From what I
think
can tell,
this is the second year.
Really?
I remember Real Sports doing something last year.
So the concussion tents don't allow anyone to see what they're doing.
Correct.
Why?
What do you mean why?
What is it that's happening? It's not like they're giving him a shot, or it's a medical procedure, or he's changing clothes, or anything like that. Nothing really needs to be censored, so we can't see what they're doing to help a player that just had a seizure on the field.
Right.
They're not doing anything, is what I'm trying to tell you.
You also don't want to see the shots that they're giving these players, a la Lawrence Taylor, in any given Sunday.
That's my point.
When they take them back in. So
that's my point.
Yeah, I understand.
These tents are set up so that you don't know what they're doing, because maybe sometimes, which I believe in this case, what they were doing was. You okay, Tom?
Right.
Okay. Okay, go back in. Because people go, what the fuck was that? That's all? Because people will see it and go, wait, that's all they're doing?
I remember this season, actually. I'm trying to pull up the game, but I remember Russell Wilson appeared to have suffered a concussion, and then he went into the medical tent, and he was there for probably 2 minutes. And then he went back in. I don't remember who they played against. Here we go. Russell Wilson, Seattle Seahawks, scrutinized for concussion protocol. They took on the Cardinals. He was whacked by Carlos Dansby. He was clearly had a concussion. He was showing, like, we all know the signs at this point because this game is so fucking brutal that we're like, he has a concussion. He has a concussion. And so Russell Wilson got clobbered by Carlos Dansby, had a concussion, went into the medical tent, and then played the next series. I think he got hit on 3rd down. So my point is, with all the players' safety that the NFL wants us to think is going on, it doesn't actually happen. Because you know what would have happened if a guy like this had a seizure on the field? They probably would have taken him to a hospital. And he probably would have been diagnosed that much further than a few spotters, as Real Sports, I remember calling them, on NFL sidelines. And here's the other thing we have to remember, okay?
Are the spotters employed by the team, by the way?
Well, we got him.
I had to cut you off because I knew that's where you were going.
We got the tater. As Ron White would say. So, like, yeah, like they're employed by the NFL. So, how you feel about the concussion protocol is very similar to how we should feel about Roger Goodell. No matter what, at the end of the day, who pays for what they're doing? Who empowers them to be in those positions, rather? The National Football League. So whenever you have a doubt about anything, you follow the money, and then you usually get your answer.
So the tents as well, I assume. They're there to protect, not the player.
Well, you know, the tenting, the actual tent was outsourced by China.
I bet the tents would be made better if they're made in the USA.
Never lost. Sorry. So my point is, it's all bullshit. They want us to think that we're watching this, you know, in a way watered down sport, and how they gung-ho for the players. And all we care about are the players, and we're gonna try and get rid of all these horrible things that are happening to the players. It's all smoke and mirrors until I actually see some results of guys who get clobbered and then are taken out. And it doesn't have to be for the rest of the game, but actually have some, and this is like the middle ground, but we don't know what goes in there. But I do know that for a guy convulsing on the field to be in a tent for 3 minutes, it does not suffice.
Well, it's something too, and this is maybe part of the culture of players that will change too. I mean, it's Tom Savage, right?
Yes.
Tom Savage is a grown-ass man. But because of the culture and the way and the thought process for tough guys, this is also hockey and damn near every sport, actually. Even non-contact sports like baseball. When you're hurt, the only ones who actually go, I'm hurt, I'm getting out of here, are like pitchers in baseball. But Tom Savage wanted to play. So because
they're always gonna want to play.
Exactly, because that's the culture. If he says, yo, I don't remember anything, but my hand is still kind of shaking, I think I'm gonna go in the locker room. You know what'll happen to him? Pussy, bitch, weak. Isn't he supposed to be a leader? Supposed to come in here and try and have a chance for his team to win the game, and he's just gonna walk away and give up on him. That's what's gonna be said. That's what he'll believe. So he doesn't want to do that.
I'm gonna give you a prime example, okay?
And that's not just the NFL. The NFL wants the money.
Of course.
But then
you just can't have your cake and eat it too of saying we care about player safety and then throw somebody back into the fire.
Well, so a lot of times the players don't care about player safety. Let's keep it real.
No, they've already admitted many times. There are guys who are struggling to walk right now that played in the NFL for 10+ years. If you ask them, would you do it all over again? They would say, fuck yeah, absolutely, hell yes, wouldn't change a thing. But like, you're in a wheelchair. Is this really how you feel? Yes, I'd die on that. One Jets player said he would die on the field. He's a rookie. I forget the safety's name. So yeah.
When are we gonna stop being surprised about this? This is the game built around larger than average humans throwing their bodies into each other. What do we think is going to happen? Like, I just don't know. Like it's not. I don't know at what point like it's about player safety and about the safety of the sport. Like what are we gonna do? Like you can't lead with your head because that's how human beings run. With your head forward, you lean forward. I don't.
Well, they've already changed that actually. You got to hit him in the chest.
Yeah.
Or else if you lead with your head, it's a penalty.
Yeah, but that's going to lead to neck injuries because you're not looking up.
Yeah,
You're trying to hit low in the chest.
What happens is, which I think is what happened to Tom Savage, was you get hit, and then as you get driven into the ground, your head
smacks on the ground
off of the turf. So that's definitely going to happen.
I agree with what Jacory's saying. I think we all agree with what Jacory is saying. I think Jacory agrees with what Jacory is saying. But my point is to be very, very specific. I don't like how Roger Goodell is always like playing the PR game and saying that all they care about is concussion protocol when they don't.
Sadly, that's his job.
Right, he's up there to take the bullets for the owners. And again, you follow the money, you learn where everyone's trust lies and the connections they have.
Goodell's
and what have you.
He can't go out and say, yeah, this whole concussion protocol is BS. We're just trying to keep you guys from getting on our backs. He can't say it.
Of course not, but anybody who watches football doesn't watch football. If I were to show my girlfriend this, okay, who does not give a damn about the National Football League, okay, barely cares about sports. If she were to watch this game with me and she were to see that, she would be disgusted, number one. And then 3 minutes later, if he's back on the field, she'd be like, wait a minute, what happened? Any right-minded thinking person would think the same as that.
I had a college roommate He was from Dallas area. And he played football, but not in college, but he played football before. And every time there'd be a play where someone gets hurt in any kind of way, this is like in 99, 2000, he'd be like, we used to always say, and it was a jokey thing, when we're at high school games, he's still on the field, drag him off, throw him in the woods. That's the Texans' way of doing things, right? It's like, if somebody's hurt, get his ass off the field. We don't give a shit. That's the sport. That's what it is.
I just remembered what I was going to tell you. So the prime example is when I was working with Bryant McFadden, former Steelers great cornerback, won 2 Super Bowls with the Steelers, won 2 Super Bowls overall. And he would tell me that they would mock fellow players. Now this is way back when, but they would mock players for getting what they called the prom escort. So when the doctors would go out to the field, and they'd be like, 52 prom escort, huh? Because like they would give each other shit for not being able to walk under their own power. So it's like the machismo, egotistical nature of every single athlete of every single player that goes into the National Football League. So to your point that you made a few minutes ago, they would want to go back in. Of course they would want to go back in. All boxers will never throw in the towel. It's not them who do it. It's their corners who do it.
Yeah, it's the mentality they've been given, or else they can't fully commit to what they're doing if they're playing without thinking they can always go. Yeah.
Yep, I agree. Alrighty, thoughts? Where do they leave him?
They leave him at Rick Strom when they're mad.
If they want to leave a comment though?
That's at the 2
At Rick Strom. Oh, okay. If they're mad, they can do that too.
In the comment section below the video.
All around there.
You already knew that.
Push buttons. See what happens. Dexter's laboratory. Welcome everyone to TYT Sports. That is JR Jackson. I am Rick. Before we get into the fun, be sure to check out BetDSI, the A+ rated sportsbook. Use promo code TYT25 and get a $25 free wager just for registering. If you decide to deposit, you will get a 200% bonus match on your money. If sports isn't your thing, don't forget BetDSI offers odds on pretty much everything else too, including all major sports, politics, and reality TV. Promo code TYT25, $25 free wager just for registering. Check it out. Are you okay over there? BetDSI. All right, so LeBron James, it is now rumored, along with every other team in this fucking sport, that he might go there. So here's what Sam Amick wrote. While James has made it clear that he won't deliberate his uncertain future until the Cavs' season is complete, there is strong belief in Rocket circles that they'll have a legit shot at landing the 4-time MVP. Rival execs also believe the Rockets will have a real chance. Leave this up for 1 second. Real chance, legit shot. These are all sports hypotheses that we need to stop using in order to just drive, what they're trying to do. We're more so saying like, yeah, every team has a shot to sign LeBron James, because when somebody like that is a free agent, I've said this so many times, it's beating a dead horse. Whenever Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, LeBron James, whenever they are free agents, you make room.
Yeah, it's like the nature of, it's like making a point about the definition of the term. Like, as a free agent, LeBron James has a chance to sign wherever he wants. So every team has a chance to sign LeBron James.
Completely.
Every executive says, we want LeBron James.
Completely.
Oh, you think?
Yes, duh. Why would you not want him? Unless like Dan Gilbert running a team and he's like, we're better off, we're fine. So here's what the Green Berets of the Houston Rockets would look like. That was at the Olympics. All right, now here's, seriously, like that's what they would look like, along with like some Russian guy to the right. And then here's where it gets legit and what you need to think about if you're really looking into this. Here are the contracts for the Houston Rockets. Chris Paul's a free agent, but the thing is, he will take less money in order to stay. You know who else will, aside from James Harden? every single player on this roster will take less money. The Ryan Anderson contract is bad. They would have to move him. The PJ Tucker contract, not great. They would have to move him. Everyone else, because they probably want to keep Eric Gordon because he's been a really, really solid player. Absolutely. Along with Ryan Anderson. Eric Gordon won Sixth Man of the Year, but those two have really played well off of James Harden, spacing the floor, using Ryan Anderson as like a fake 4 in a starting lineup, just to space it that much more to give James Harden more room. It's worked wonders.
Well, Demetrius Jackson definitely isn't going to take less.
I like Demetrius Jackson, Notre Dame. So, as you're looking at this, what do you see?
I don't know, man. I'm sorry. Again, the fact that this is going to go back to what I was saying weeks ago.
Okay.
Outside of the obvious of everybody wants him and he has a chance to do whatever hell he wants. It's so because of that, it'll be based on where he can end his career. Not even necessarily end, but
right. I was going to say this could be a 2-year deal, true. Maybe a 1-and-1.
In some more contracts, but in another big place. I feel like Houston, just the feel seems a little off. I feel like it's a big coastal city approach he's going to go to, you know? Again, I think he's going to go to the Knicks, man. They're going to find a way. If the situation is right.
East, firstly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
To go to the
Avoid
West.
Golden State and San Antonio.
Yeah, to be that juggernaut. But then depending on what they have around them as well, they'll make their package set. But he's always talks about being in at that arena. That's where the Mecca, you know? So I still think that'll be at the end of the day what he would choose. The only reason he wouldn't is if it's just a place where he can't win.
So are you saying I understand your historical point about him wanting to play at the Garden, and by the way, he puts up numbers at Madison Square Garden. But just sticking with Houston, if Chris Paul takes less money, could you see him and James Harden playing well off of one another? He can play with anybody.
He's one of the few superstars who's like one of the best ever type of guys who doesn't need the ball enough where he's like, yeah, you know what, you brought me here to do this.
Right.
I remember after he scored, I don't know, like 40 points in a game when it was the beginning of their winning streak they went on. And they were asking him about it. I think he even just posted about it and he goes, I'm still a pass first guy.
Which is true.
It's very true.
He's heavy isolation because of what Tyronn Lue is doing, but yeah, he's still that was the knock on him when he was with Miami. Yeah, and they took on the Dallas Mavericks and that Dirk team with Jason Kidd and Sean Marion. Oh my God, Tyson Chandler, Deshaun Stevenson, JJ Barea. That team was
you're remembering
fun.
all these guys. Yeah, no, it's exactly. So he still is that guy, so he can play with another superstar who needs the ball a lot. And we already know Chris Paul will do that as well too. That's why I think they look good this year too. Chris Paul just getting started, honestly, with the Rockets this year. So with that kind of combination, sure, yeah, and then alleviate some pressure here and there when someone else needs it. I think it would be fine. So it's feasible,
right?
I don't know. I just don't think so. It also depends what happens this year. I mean, who's going to win this year? How will they win? And what will they need next season?
That's the other outside factors that we need to keep that we need to take into account is that Chris Paul is going to be a free agent. Paul George is going to be a free agent. Everyone and their mothers are going to be free agents, and you don't know what pieces are going to move. So will the Houston Rockets try to get in on them? Absolutely. Like if Daryl Morey doesn't try to bring LeBron in, at least send the jet over to Akron, get him to H-Town, show him around. If he's cool with like Travis Scott and anybody else, you get them in that meeting and you pitch your ass off. Or like if he wants to have a destination meeting like Durant had in
where did they go?
Off in New York. Where am I thinking of? Where all the rich people go?
Oh, what? Just the
rich yuppie
area,
the yuppie people, New York, New Jersey.
Jeez, you see,
everybody
you're
drives
forgetting
Bentleys.
it's contagious.
We have 6 people in this room, and no one knows what I'm talking about.
Is it the Hamptons?
Yes, thank you, the Hamptons.
I'll take Hamptons for $200.
Correct. What does he win? He wins Kevin Durant's jockstrap. So, yeah, you pitch your ass off. You try. The one thing that you can't do is drop the ball in this situation. I think that he could work off of anybody. You can put James Harden there. You can put Eric Gordon there. You can put Chris Paul there. You try to sign one more guy. Give them a 2-year deal. The only 1-and-1 would be LeBron. James Harden is your future. and you see how they work off of each other, and knowing how good of a player LeBron is and how much he would space the floor along with James Harden, along with Chris Paul, and then maybe you add like a stretch 4, stretch 5.
They still got Trevor there, right? Ariza.
Trevor Ariza.
I don't know how much he plays. I don't know how much he plays anymore, but
playing.
Yeah.
All right, so we agree. It would work because LeBron is
totally work, and he's gonna be 33 soon.
Yes.
So it's another thing. Yeah, it looks like he's still 27 years old. Outside of
he does.
So but he's still. This would stretch out his career so much more to be able to spread the ball with other stars and not have to. Would
he play with D'Antoni? We didn't even talk about that.
That run and gun style. That crossed my mind. Yeah, it'd be great. It's fun.
I mean, he's still a fast break guy.
It's fun, and again, he's a pass first guy. It's to make clean passes on breaks that's flowing, man. That's beautiful.
They would have to add a few 3-point shooters, and anybody like a Channing Frye or what have you, who could be like a corner specialist, not a corner, a 3-point specialist, just to space the floor a little bit more. Do it completely. Alrighty, thoughts? Where do they leave him?
They leave him in the comment section below.
That's correct. And then what else do they do?
They also subscribe.
That's right. Because why?
Because they fucking love us.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Wow.
Right?
Did you take singing classes as a kid?
Obviously. Hello, everyone. Welcome into TYT Sports. There's my camera. Before we get in on the fun, use BetDSI. Why don't you? The A+ rated sportsbook. Use promo code TYT25. Get a $25 free wager just for registering. If you decide to deposit, you will get a 200% bonus match on your money. If sports isn't your thing, don't forget BetDSI offers odds on pretty much everything else too, including all major sports, politics, reality, TV, what have you. Promo code TYT25, $25 free wager just for registering. Please do check it out.
Yes. That's been the thing. That's my kid said all day on Saturday.
It's like those kids when they won an N64. Yes! Yes!
Yes, he's injured.
Oh, man.
That's what he said.
Yeah, well, it applies here as well. Before we show it, if you don't like sports injuries, why'd you click on this clip? Secondly, if you're still here, brace yourself, because this is brutal. It is simply bloody, gory, brutal. All right, here we go. Andre Ward said, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in a boxing match. In an ear that was not bitten. All right, now, my opinion, just my opinion, it looks like a heart on the left side.
Because there's,
oh, there we go. It was from a clash of heads. This is Steven Smith against Fernando Vargas on the Orlando Salido undercard with HBO Boxing. He took to Instagram. I love his name, Swifty Smith 3. Thanks very much for all your supportive messages last night, says Swifty Smith 3. Read them all, and they mean a lot. Went to hospital, got my ear stitched back up, so hopefully all will heal well. Thanks again for all the love and support. Have a good Christmas, everyone. X. Can we show the first picture once again? Because, man, I agree with Andre Ward. The last time I can remember somebody's ear being this bad is when Tyson bit Holyfield.
And the thing is, it didn't even look that bad to Tyson Holyfield.
No, but there was a chunk bitten off. This just looks like someone went in with like a bread cutting knife and was like, how can I make your Valentine's Day better?
I mean, you know, maybe while it was open, he could have like thrown a piercing on it or something. You know, people do like they hit the hard parts of there when they pierce something and it's tough. While it's open, just slap it in and then stitch it together.
So you're asking for like a Michael Jordan like ring to seal it?
Bring it back.
There's a few things MJ's synonymous for. It's being a great player, having like a thin mustache, and then also the hoop rings.
Hey,
it'll
man,
never get retired.
Stop censoring it. It was a Hitler stash, and I don't know why he did it. No one knows why he did it. You know I did it? Because
Why?
he said, I'm Michael Jordan. I can get away with this.
It wasn't a Hitler stash, bro. Are you kidding me?
You
It
don't
wasn't a
remember?
block.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, yes. Haynes, he didn't debut it, but he rocked that shit on a Haynes commercial. I was like, so when they went in for shooting that day, they didn't go, hey, Michael.
Oh, fuck.
So, Mike, I hear you, but we
Haynes
gotta
commercial.
get rid of the Hitler stash, bro. Oh, no. Come on,
I
man.
totally forgot about this.
And he's in those Haynes commercials, he's the guy who's like talking to some annoying person going, what's wrong with you, dude? What are you doing? When he's the guy who should have been getting that. What are you doing, bro? Stop. Here, I have some travel clippers. He was on the airplane in that ad. I got some travel clippers. Go in the restroom and hook that up real fast.
Travel clippers.
Sorry, I don't know how we got on Jordan.
No, it's cool. I think we should end there. Thoughts, comments section. There's really not much more else to say.